everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, welcome. We're the Garza twins. I'm Carly. And I'm Britta, and we'd love it if you would subscribe so you don't miss any of our uploads. Today we're doing our Best of Beauty 2022. We're really excited to be filming this, and in the past we usually would pick one product from each category, like mascara, eyeshadow, etc. But this year we kind of decided to just pick standout products. So we have maybe like a few eye products, and then some categories we have nothing because maybe we kind of bopped around and used the.
Yeah, I'm realizing now I have no mascara, but that
I don't either. But
that lines up for me because nothing has like wowed me.
Yeah, so we really tried to stick to like what our actual favorite products were and didn't really have such a structure. So let's get into it. Okay, so we'll still go in order of like how you apply makeup. So starting with foundation.
If you're new here, we never use primer. So.
Yeah. Starting with foundation, I picked two foundations because I use them both equally. I have the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. This is probably still my most used. I use it on like an everyday basis because it's just my perfect everyday complexion product. It's, I would say, light coverage, sheer to light even. Or do you say light?
Yeah, it can be sheer. It sort of depends on what you use.
Yeah, it's a really moussey texture, so it might seem really thick and you might think it's full coverage, but it's very moussey and it's very silicone heavy. So you just dot it on your face, use a brush to blend it out. It does not really work with a sponge. You have to use a dense brush, I would say. And then it just kind of like becomes one with your skin and like plumps up the skin in a way that no other foundation has ever done for me. So we've been using this for years and years and years, and I always have a backup. This is my most used, and then you can talk about this one because I think it's your only pick, right?
Yeah, so I discovered it this year, so that's why I'm including it. It's the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I still have my like original smaller bottle. This is only...
Yeah, last while. I think it's 0.6.
Yeah, 0.6 fluid ounces, and I think I got it back in April.
Yeah.
And I don't use it every day because it is so expensive. If you guys have purchased this foundation, you know it's very expensive. But it is so good. It's definitely the best, actually, like if you're talking about like a straight up foundation.
Yeah.
Because this really is like a skin tint, and the delivery system is really unique. But this is like a foundation, and it's the best foundation on the market.
Agreed. We were shade 4.5, by the way.
It's really fluid and thin, so it blends out really nicely. I only use a pump because I don't like to use too much foundation in general. And it just like makes your skin look like healthy, and it covers any like sort of minor blemish or discoloration, but it's not too full coverage. It looks natural. The finish is really natural. Like it's not too glowy, not too flat. It really is perfect, and it is worth the money. It is so good.
I was gonna say it's worth the money in my opinion because one bottle will last me over a year. Because like Carly said, I only use a pump as well when I do my makeup with this, and so the bottle will last you a really long time. I think the period after opening is a year, so you're gonna want to use it within a year or it expires.
Your full size bottle is much prettier. I like the frost.
I know, I like the full size bottle too. But yeah, I had that one lasted me so long, and I got this during the sale, I think in spring, and I just opened it a few months ago.
Yeah.
So it's so good, it's worth the money. Okay, I don't have my favorite concealer here, but it's the same as, I think I talked about this last year. Yes, I did. The Kosas Revealer Concealer. I wear shade 2.5. I'm using the Kulfi Concealer right now, and while I really like it, I still think the Kosas reigns supreme for me. I discovered that when it launched in 2021. And I had gone years with feeling like I never found a concealer I really liked. And the Kosas one checks all my boxes. It just looks so natural under the skin. You don't need to set it. It blends seamlessly. It lasts all day. Now they have many shades. Before they didn't, but they do now. It's a little less coverage than the Kulfi, so I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I feel like it covers enough, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful concealer. I'll be repurchasing it once I'm done with that. I don't like to have too many concealers at once because then I feel like I don't use them. But it's still my number one this year, and I went through probably like 3 tubes this year. It's so good. And I don't have a concealer because I tried a few different concealers this year that I liked, but none that blew me away, so I'm not going to include one. But the powder favorite, I think this was our favorite last year.
I have it here. Oops, one moment.
Is, the Kosas Cloud Set powder, and I still think this is the best powder on the market.
Me too.
I like a pressed powder. I realized I bought a loose powder this year that I liked as well, but I just don't gravitate towards because they're harder to use. You put it in the cap. I like a pressed powder. This is baked formula.
And wear the shade Feathery.
Yeah, and it's just good. It's also worth the money. It's expensive,
so
and you kind of go through it quickly because it's baked, but it's worth it. It's the only thing that like blurs and sets and doesn't leave like a caked on layer. I also love the Kosas foundation. Like we both really like falling in love with their products this year. Although we tried their like the reformulated liquid eyeshadows this year and did not like that.
That was a no-go, but that's okay.
You win some, you lose some. Yeah. Okay, for bronzer, which bronzer has slowly but surely become like my favorite thing to buy. I feel like I bought so many cream bronzers this year because when we were working from home, we obviously since left our job, so I feel like I don't put makeup on every day. Yeah. But back then I was putting makeup on almost every day, but I would do cream products, like really quick 5-minute makeup type of looks. And I discovered the Rose Ink bronzer. I have the shade Kawaii, which is their medium shade. And I realized that this is my favorite cream bronzer formula. The color is still not perfect. I hope that they release more shades because it is a little bit too warm for me. But this is my perfect cream bronzer formula because it's so incredibly thin. It's really easy to pick up directly on a brush. I don't have to like brush it on my hand. I just put my brush in here, dab it on my face. It stays where you put it. It's not emollient in the slightest. It's a very dry matte formula. So it's thin, it dries down almost immediately, and I feel like powders layer really well over top. It's just perfection. And I feel like not that many people talk about it. Taylor Wynn also raved about this, and she got the darker shade, so I might pick up the darker shade and see if that suits my skin tone better. But I don't mind the medium one, especially because I layer a powder bronzer over top anyway. But it's so good. My favorite product that I've tried from Rose Inc for sure. And then for powder, I think I picked this last year, I'm not quite sure, but the Victoria Beckham bronzer, we have the shade 02, it's the bronzing brick, and it's hard to find. It's so hard to find a talc-free matte bronzer. It's getting easier and easier, but this I've just been using, I think last year and this year, and it's my go-to matte powder bronzer, so wanted to mention it. And also the packaging is like truly stunning.
Mine broke though, the clasp.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Shut, but it's still beautiful.
Okay, I have a cream and a powder as well. The cream I purchased I looked back at the end of 2021, so I didn't include this in last year's video, but I've used it all year, and I realized recently that it's like my favorite cream bronzer product. I reach for it all the time. It's the Rare Beauty bronzer stick in the shade Happy Soul. I know it was sold out for a while, but it's back in stock now. This is also a really dry formula. It's kind of like, I think they called it like a cream to like powder, but in a stick, and it really does feel like that. Like it glides on really effortlessly. I used to apply it on the back of my hand and then dab my brush and dab it on. Then I saw so many people on TikTok just drawing it on and blending it out, and I was like, actually I never really tried that. That'd be a lot easier. And now I just draw it on like a stick and blend it out, and it blends out so easy. And I think it is because it's so thin, and it really does like, I mean, it's so thin. And those are my favorites. Yeah, those are my favorite types of cream products when they don't add like a thick layer to your skin, because when they do, they can kind of like be harder to blend and like bring out texture. And so because it's so thin, it just goes on so seamlessly. It blends out so nicely, and this stick has lasted me. Like I pushed it up recently to see how much I had left, and I feel like I'm like halfway through, and I've used it so much this year. So it's also a really good deal because Rare Beauty isn't that expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
So I love this. And then this was such, like, took me by surprise, but it's the Beauty Pie, the new bronzers that they came out with that are like in this refillable compact. I think this is the shade Goldilocks. I'll write it down below, but I bought this shade and the shade Darker, and I ended up really loving this shade. At first I thought it was like a little warm, and I was kind of
swatch everything. We'll insert
yeah,
swatches.
I was kind of like disappointed because I thought it was really light and really warm, and even when it's swatched, it looks so like not good. Yeah. But it's such a good bronzer, and I've been layering it over the Rare Beauty all the time. I have that on right now, and I love it. I think that this formula is perfect. I do wish that the color was a little different, but Victoria Beckham I also really love, and that's been my favorite for years. But since I discovered this year, and I think the formula is honestly on par. Like the formula actually feels really similar to the Victoria Beckham in my opinion. It's again very like creamy and soft and very thin. Like I like a thin powder. This one's really thin. And the only thing I don't love is the color, but the color is still really pretty, especially layered on top of a cream. I think that because it's so thin, it just makes my face look like lightly bronzed and like not really contoured, but it just gives like some depth to my face without applying like a lot of product, if that makes sense. And I actually really love this compact, and it's like magnetic closure. It has a nice mirror, so I think Beauty Pie did a really good job on these. Okay, and I don't have a blush favorite this year because I used so many blushes. I purchased a lot and a lot that I loved, so I just feel like there was not one that stood out to me. Okay, yeah, I have one because I didn't purchase a lot this year, and all the ones I have recently raved about the Gucci, but I got that so late in the game I didn't want to talk about that. But this is the Pat McGrath blush in Flirtatious. I have it on right now, and these are, okay, it is very sheer, I will say that. So if you aren't someone that likes a sheer blush, I don't think you'd like these, but I think this formula is perfect. It's just such, again, like what I like in a powder is like something that doesn't have a lot of like kickback, like isn't really powdery. It's just like a thin sort of like velvety texture, and that's exactly what this is. And it also has like, they're matte blushes, but it's kind of like a little bit of a sheen, and the color is perfect in my opinion. It's like a kind of like neutral leaning cool tone light rose, and it's just so neutral and perfect, and I find it so hard to find neutral blushes that don't actually look warm on my skin, and this one is just like that. It doesn't look too warm. It just looks like nice like plush cheeks. Like I said, I have it on right now, and ever since I got this, I think in spring of this year, it like quickly became my go-to blush for every day. If I do want more of like a bright cheek, I wouldn't reach for this, but yeah, I really love it, and I want to talk about it because I wanted it for years since it came out, and I just got it this year, and I'm really happy I did. Okay, and then for highlighter, actually I can't believe Britta isn't talking about this.
Yeah, actually that would probably be my favorite. I'm wearing it today.
So we both got this year, and it's the Rose Ink highlighter in the shade Glancing. I guess we haven't had it for that long, but yeah, I have it on right now too, and I picked this because not only is the shade perfect, I think.
Yeah, I love the shade.
It's like, they describe it as like a rosy bronze. But
we'll insert swatches, Carli.
I know.
You keep swatching.
I'm just watching it so I can like look at it too.
Okay.
But it's such a unique formula, and I like talking about innovation, like when brands are actually unique, because it's kind of like a putty, like,
but it's dry, just like the bronzer.
But it's dry, yeah. So on your cheeks, it doesn't like pick up makeup or like look too wet. It just sort of like looks from like a glow from within.
Yeah.
I still use the Beauty Pie highlighter one all the time too, but ever since I got this, because it is a little more subtle, and like I can wear it for like night looks or during the day when I just have really light makeup on. It's so versatile that I just reach for it all the time. So I had to talk about it because, and it's also refillable.
Yeah, and I love the packaging.
I love the packaging.
Remember mine
too.
broke, but then they sent me a new one.
Oh,
so
really?
Good customer service.
Yeah. Okay, for eyeshadow, I definitely have some favorites. Well, we both started using MAC paint pots this year. I specifically use the shade Groundwork.
Me too. Almost every day.
It's my only favorite for eyeshadow because it's changed my life. It's, yeah, MAC Groundwork. You guys are probably like, why haven't you used these sooner?
I know, we're just
but
behind.
Eyeshadow has always creased on me because for some reason my face gets drier as I get older, but my eyelids have continued to be oily, and I have a lot of creases in my eye. And ever since I picked this up, I put it under like anything I wear, and it just doesn't crease anymore. So it's really changed my life.
Yeah, it works really well, and I just like the packaging on these. They're
me too.
Cute.
It's like glass and really nice.
I want to get some more shades, like some shimmer shades, because I like the formula so much. Okay, diving into eyeshadow. Well, also, so my single shadow, I knew I wanted to pick one single shadow because I bought a lot this year of just like kind of one and done shadows, but I realized the one that I use the most is definitely ColourPop Aster. It's a like rose gold shade. I'm wearing it today. Again, we'll insert swatches of everything we talked about. But this is just, it's almost like a silvery rose gold, and I feel like because it has kind of the warmth of the rose gold, but then the silver, it can go with like warmer cool tone looks, warmer cool tone like outfits. Like it literally matches anything I wear, which is I think why I reached for it so often, because if I just wanted a slight sheen on my eyelids but not overdone glitter, like I also really love, what's the other shade that I got
from them this year. I can't remember off the top of my head, but most of the ColourPop Super Shocks have so much glitter, and they're really what happened. They used to be so different. They used to have like a range, and now they're all glitter, and this one has glitter, but it's a very fine glitter, and it just looks like a sheen and less glittery. So that's, I think, my favorite thing about it, and the color. But I really love this color, and I reached for it more than any other single shadow. And then I just wanted to give a shout out to the NYX Glitter Glue, because I've been using this for years, and whenever I put any shimmer shade on my eyelids, not just these Super Shocks, but even from like this palette, I always use this because it is the stickiest primer, and it just grips onto anything you put on top of it, and it lasts. Like, glitter will not get on your face. It will just stay where you put it, and it'll make the shadow last. You could probably sleep in it and it would still last. And it's like $5, and I feel like no one talks about it because it was released so long ago, but I had to shout it out because I love that product. And then for my palette favorite, I had to go with the Anastasia Nouveau palette. I'm actually surprised Carli's not talking about this, because she got it first.
I just like don't love eyeshadow.
Oh.
So even though, yeah, it's my first palette purchase in a long time.
Yeah, I was just shocked at how much I loved this. Well, first of all, like the most stunning packaging, like the green tweed. But anyway, I love green shadow because we have green eyes, so it really helps to, like, you know, accentuate our eye color. But I just think it's so versatile. Like, there are a lot of days where I'll use like the pinker shades. It's kind of more of a wearable look. But then a lot of times I'll wear the green shades. Like when we were going to Mother Wolf the day, or that Thanksgiving weekend with our friends before they left, I did a quick look, and I just used a couple of the green shades, and our friend Alyssa was like, oh, that looks so pretty. But it was so easy. It's just, I put the glitter glue down and dot it on, and it's like effortless.
Yeah.
And it's like effortless glam.
Yeah, because the glitter shades are really like multi-dimensional glitter.
Yeah, totally. So I love it. I love everything about it.
The Wisteria shade is like my favorite shade in that palette.
Yeah, because Wisteria is like the most unique shade in here for sure. So overall, I just think it's really versatile, beautiful, really unique shades. You have a mix of finishes. Like, there's lots of mattes, or enough mattes for me. There's some that are like less glittery, but like Lily is super glittery, Peacock's really glittery. You have a black. I feel like you can just do so much with it, and it just really surprised me, and I just really love the formula as well. Okay, and lastly for eyeshadow, I won't stay here long. Again, we'll insert swatches, but my Sydney Grace singles, which I think I mentioned these last year and potentially the year before, they're my favorite eyeshadows. If I buy a single shadow, it's always from Sydney Grace. I started with their mattes because it was really hard to find talc-free matte shadows individually. At like MAC, they have talc, so I just kind of didn't know where to start. I heard Jen Phelps talk about them, and I purchased from them a few years ago, and so I was using their mattes, but then this year specifically, I ventured into some of their shimmer or glittery shades, and all their formulas are just like 10 out of 10 beautiful. They're not as pricey as like MAC, but you know, it is kind of a lot when you're paying, well, like $7 or $8 for a single shadow, and then if you've got a few, it starts to add up. But I like to support small businesses, and I think what they're doing is fantastic. So I'll insert a swatch of all the shades that I have from them so you can see. But I also talked about the most recent ones that I purchased in our Black Friday video. So if you want to hear more on those. But overall, I love their shadow formula so much. Okay, I got this so recently, so maybe it's cheating a bit, but because I was so dedicated to the IT Cosmetics Love is the foundation brush for like 8 years until it started shedding, I thought that there was no other good foundation brush, but this is the MAC 170, and just so good for foundation. I actually feel like it'd be really good for cream bronzer too.
I've used it that way.
So, highly recommend. Favorite of the year. Yeah, it's my favorite brush for years. I've been using it, and it's so good.
It's really well made.
Okay, I'm so happy when like a drugstore product can make it into like yearly favorites. And this is the NYX Thick It Stick It Thickening Brow Mascara in the shade Taupe. And I remember when I tried this, I thought I was going to like it for a long time, but I do rotate through a lot of different brow products. But anytime I run out of this, I miss it and then I repurchase it. I think I'm on my 3rd tube, and I just really love it. For days when I don't want to do much to my brows, I just put this in them, and you do have to be really light-handed, but I find that it just adds like the right amount of pigment. It kind of fills in any sparse areas. It holds enough. It like keeps my brows up, and it can look really natural, and I just really like it. I've gotten a lot of compliments anytime I've just worn this in my brows with nothing else.
So I must always have it in my collection now, and I just get it on Amazon, and the shade taupe is really neutral. It is pretty dark, so it works for my brows, but I love this. I forgot to bring my brow favorite out here, but it's the CoverGirl Brow Pencil. I think that's been my favorite for the past like 5 years. It's so good. It has a micro-fine tip. It's creamy without being too creamy. It's not too pigmented. It blends perfectly. It's like $7. I will continue to repurchase it forever. Yeah. Okay, next, I think last for makeup is lips. So this is actually easy for me. I thought it would be hard,
It was easy for me too.
Yeah. So my most worn lip liner is definitely the Jaclyn Cosmetics liner in Butter Pecan. I guess I shouldn't say I was surprised at how much I liked this, because I remember when Jaclyn did her launch video and she swatched them all, like I knew I would love this shade because it reminded me of MAC Strip Down, which I still love that liner. But these are slightly creamier. Like if you've ever used the MAC liners, they're great, but they are pretty dry. This one is slightly creamier, but still stays in place. It lasts literally all day. Like my lipstick will come off and this will stay on my lips. It just lasts so well. I love the color because it's a brownie nude with a little bit of yellow, which is what I look for in a lip product. And I use so much of it, and I feel like I still have so much left. So I feel like it's a good price point. This is definitely like my favorite product that I've tried from Jaclyn Cosmetics. And then my lipstick is kind of an old favorite that I rediscovered, MAC Yash. I know I mentioned this, that back in, I think in May, I went to a wedding in San Diego and forgot all my lipsticks. So I ran to Ulta and I was like, oh, I need to buy a lipstick for this wedding. What should I buy? And I remembered I used to love Yash. And so I repurchased it, and then I like have not stopped wearing it since. Like whenever I need a nude lipstick, this is always the one I'm putting on, and I wear nude lipsticks most often. The MAC matte formula is just so good.
It's so good.
It's just timeless. Like I feel like it's matte without being drying, and it's not fully transfer proof because of that, but it like wears really well. It wears off really evenly, and their shades are so nuanced. Like they just do it lipstick so well. And this shade is, again, like it has a little bit of yellow in it, and I just think that really flatters my skin tone. So this combination has just been like my go-to all year. Okay, mine are both by Victoria Beckham, which no surprise. I think that all her products are beautiful, but her lip products are like my favorite. They're just all so good. But this is the lip liner, lip definer pencil in shade 02. I have like barely any left, so I repurchased one because I cannot be without this. I wear it every time I wear lipstick. Like it's my perfect shade and my perfect formula. I like a drier formula. I like to like line my lips for precision and know that it's not going to smudge, and it's going to like actually help define. It like this is called a lip definer, and I think that it really does more than a lot of other lipsticks. Like you can sharpen it to a really fine point, and then I just get in there, and the color is like my lip color, but like I'd say 3 shades darker. So it does a perfect job when I want to overline and make my lips look a little bit bigger. And I've never found a lip liner that does that as much as this one. So it's my fave. Obviously, it's almost gone. And then I had to include this because normally we are such lip gloss haters. Like I've never liked lip gloss until I tried this, and it's the Victoria Beckham Posh Gloss in the shade Apertivio, and I have it with the lip liner today. And I'm just so impressed with this formula. It's like a medium pigment level, so it's not too pigmented. It feels so like balmy and nourishing on the lips. It doesn't make your lips look like, because I don't love lip gloss, I don't want them to look like high shine, like super glossy and glassy. Like I feel like it's the perfect like amount of shine. All the colors seriously look stunning, but this one is absolutely beautiful. The packaging is so nice and like heavy. I love this. I want more shades. I'm so impressed with this lip gloss formula, and it really shocked me this year, so I had to include it. Okay, for our fragrance favorite of the year, this was so easy, but our brand Dyad Highs and Lows is our favorite from our perfume oil range. We both wear it just about every day. Every day. And I've only gone through one. Like I opened this one maybe like 3 weeks ago, and it lasts a really long time. Yeah, I've gone through one, and then I keep one in my purse, and both are like just used. So I opened a new one for the video because I was like, I need it to look nice. Yeah. But I mean, we like, this is completely biased because we obviously made this product, but this specific fragrance took us the longest to finalize, and it is the most unique out of the range, and it is by far our best seller. Like whenever we do
in-person markets, which we've been trying to do more often, like locally. We did one in Newport last weekend, and
We did one in Pasadena the previous weekend.
And like we always sell the most highs and lows, more than any candles, more than perfume oils.
When we're having like a lull in sales, we'll be like, okay, let's just offer highs and lows to everyone, and we'll like dab it on their skin. And I kid you not, every single person that walks away wearing it will come back before the day is over to buy it, because they're like, oh, I like sat with it, I wore it for a while, and I really love it.
And one girl was like, oh, you know what? There's something addicting about this once it wears on your skin. And I think that's like the perfect explanation. There's other fragrances definitely out there that do this. I think this is more like a skin scent, so it like warms up to your skin and like just smells like you kind of like all day. And I think other like skin scents are definitely like that. Like we talked about our love for Glossier You, and like that is a similar feeling of like addiction for me. Well, I think it's also because there's this one out of our range. This one has vanilla in it, but it's very subtle, and I feel like you really smell the vanilla, so you're kind of hit with that warmth when you first apply it, and then as the vanilla burns off, you're left with just like that musky scent that, you know, works with like your body chemistry. We also worked with two fragrance houses for the 4 perfume oil. Sorry, we're talking about this so much, but we need you guys to know how special this is. And the other 3 oils were made with one fragrance house, and this one was made with a different fragrance house because of their like special vegan musk that they offer and they're like known for. And I feel like their musk blend is like what also makes it so special. I'm gonna apply it. So I'm gonna apply it too, so I can maybe describe it a little better than just vanilla and musk. But it's just funny, like we want to talk about it. We want to talk about it in this video because we've worn it all year, but then also just because we've been doing these in-person markets, and we're just always blown away that like we started as a candle brand, and yet whenever we meet customers in person, Highs and Lows is like the star of the show. The best seller, and it does not translate into a candle, otherwise we would have done it by now. But it really is so good, and we're not just saying that because it's our product, but it's the best. Like I bought another perfumes this year, but this is the one I wear every single day. And we are working really hard to launch our perfume oils, the fragrances, in a perfume form. So look out for that early next year. But we really love the oils because they're easy to like take with you, and they fit on your vanity. Like for me, I only have one tray where I can keep perfume, so I kind of like to buy smaller bottles if possible. And it's just so good. I know. It's a little spicy, like it's just so good, you guys. Not to toot my own horn, but it really is good. I discovered a new hair brand this year, so I had to talk about it. It's Davines. So I have the OI All-in-One Milk, which is an amazing like detangler. It makes my hair really shiny. It's so good. This is how I fell in love with the brand, and I've been through 2 bottles of each and a travel size. It's the OI shampoo and conditioner. And as soon as I started using these, my hair just felt like so much softer, looked so much shinier. I just really felt like a difference, which doesn't usually happen for me for hair products. It is so expensive that I might like just go down to using the conditioner and buy like a cheaper shampoo. But if you can afford it, they're both incredible. So good. Like I've been so impressed with this brand, and I haven't really liked a hair care brand in a long time, so needed to talk about their products. So good. Okay, and then for skincare, the only thing I wanted to mention, because we have pretty much been using the same skincare that we've talked about in the past years, but this was new this year, the Vanicream Facial Moisturizer with Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So this is our like holy grail Vanicream moisturizer with SPF added. We were so excited when they came out with this because we only use mineral SPF really, and we love the Vanicream brand in general, but their moisturizer is so good. And this is really great if you have like a drier skin type. It's more of like my summer, well no, more like my winter SPF. I guess I can use that all year round. But it is a 2-in-1. Like I can use this at least in the summertime. Like in the winter I'm more dry, but in the summer I can use this as my facial moisturizer and SPF in one. I don't need more of one or the other, if that makes sense. Like I feel like with a lot of other 2-in-1 products that claim to be both, I'm left feeling very dry because it is like a mineral sunscreen, and zinc can really dry out the skin. But this just leaves your face really glowy. It has a minimal white cast, and it's just good. It's like, you know, not very many ingredients. It's so good. It says for sensitive skin, and I definitely think that's true. And yeah, I can't say enough good things. And you can get on Amazon. It's really affordable. Okay, we've tried two new deodorants this year, Necessaire and Saltaire, and I love them both, but I want to talk about the Necessaire because it is a gel, and I find that, like, I don't know, I'm just so happy I had this format in my collection because when I wear like black or when I wear like a tank top and I don't want like the white of my deodorant getting on my clothes, this has been such a lifesaver, and it actually works so well for being aluminum free. We buy the eucalyptus scent.
Yeah, I just didn't like the scent, so I
I
wish
don't
they
love the
had
scent.
something
Yeah, I
else.
want them to come out with another one, but it really is so good, and the packaging is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, really just the format is so nice that I just love that it doesn't like, it's clear, so it doesn't get on anything. So I want to talk about it.
Okay, this was a huge breakthrough for us this year.
This and the next product are like
Yes.
For self-tanning, we've been using the Saint-Tropez Express Tan for years and years and years. It's so good. I still love that. But for something that I can apply more often, like I feel like this year was kind of the year that I was like, you know, I like a good little like base coat of tan, and doing a foam and a whole like mitt thing is just not sustainable. Like I don't like doing it before bed. We both have white sheets. I don't want to get my sheets dirty. So like I just wouldn't self tan. And this just changed the game because I feel like I literally apply this once a week, and it leaves you with like a nice golden bronze.
Yeah, I don't have it on right now, but
I don't either. I usually do it on Fridays. What day is it? Monday? I don't even think, maybe I did it Friday. Maybe I have a little on. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, it's the Isle of Paradise Dark Self-Tanning Oil Mist. We talked about this before, but it's so easy to use if you are familiar with self-tanning products and the application of them. So we don't even use a mitt with this. Like I get out of the shower.
shake it up.
You shake it up. This is a new one, by the way. I went through a whole one. This is like my second bottle, which is also like there's so much in here, so it just shows how much I use it.
This is my first bottle still.
Oh yeah, you have a lot left.
Well, I have half left.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So you shake it up because it's a bi-phase product. It's oil and water, so you have to shake it. And then I just spray it in my hands.
Me too.
And put them together, and then circular motion. So I do my legs, like kind of work my way up my body, and then I do another coat. So it dries pretty fast. So I feel like I can do one, and then by the time like I get to my chest, my legs are dry, so like I can go over with one more
And
coat.
it's so moisturizing.
It's, yeah, I was gonna say, like obviously it's a self-tanner, so you don't moisturize before, but like with other self-tanning products. But with this, I feel like I don't even need moisture because it has
The
oil.
oil.
So it really does moisturize your skin.
It's a game changer.
It's
Like I
so
never
good.
used tanning products before, and now I always use this too.
Yeah, and my favorite thing about it is that there is no color guard because, yeah, if you don't blend perfectly, like it might be splotchy in some places, so make sure you're really blending it in. But it doesn't leave your sheets dirty. And I guess I should also say that this is a leave-on product. You don't rinse it off. So I do it like Friday morning after my shower, and then I leave it on all day, and then obviously I wouldn't like rinse it off until my shower the next morning. But it doesn't smell too bad in terms of like a tanning product. So it's just the easiest tanning product to use. Like I am so glad this exists.
Okay, last but certainly not least is probably like our biggest game changer of our lives in terms of beauty.
Yeah.
This is like no joke. Dazzle Dry, please sponsor us.
I know, really. We love you. So we discovered Dazzle Dry. How did we even, through Instagram? Yeah, I found it, right?
Yeah, you did.
I think I found it through Instagram, and then I told Carli about it, and you were like, oh, remember you said Justine told me she gets it done in the salon?
Yes,
that's right. So we like have always been people that have painted our own nails. Of course, I have like not painted mine now. Mine are painted, but they're chipped. I need to redo them. But we've always painted our own nails. We are like really frugal like that. We never like understood spending money on it. I totally fine if everyone else wants to do it, but we just never spend our money that way. But we would always paint our nails, and I swear within like 3 days they would be chipped.
Yes.
We have tried like 2 days. Yeah, we've tried so many base coats, top coats, like nail polish brands, and like while we liked a lot of colors of a lot of the brands we use, like the formula just never lasted, and it was so disappointing that I just stopped painting my nails because I'm like, I don't want them to keep chipping. But with Dazzle Dry, especially for me, I don't know how this works, but like I, for 2 weeks, can get no chips on my nails, and it's been life-changing. Like people have thought we have like professional nails done, and then I had a colleague that told me that she got it done in the salon because she was sick of like getting her nails damaged with gel. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know they did it in salon environments. And she also really loved it. But again, we just do it at home. And we should probably have brought the whole kit out here. But it's like a clean step.
Yeah,
There's
like you basically...
a base coat.
Yeah, so the kit, like the starter kit comes with, it's kind of like an alcohol solution. So, and now I feel like I'm kind of like lackluster with it. Like they say, like use a cotton pad with the alcohol solution and don't like go over the same spot on the cotton pad. And I'm like, whatever.
I don't think that really matters, but I think precision with the base coat matters.
Precision
and
with the base coat. So you do the alcohol solution, 2 coats of the base coat, 2 coats of the color, and then 1 coat of the top coat. Let it dry for 5 minutes and you're good to go. And I think that's why I like it so much, is because it is pretty quick. Like, yeah, you're doing 5 coats total, so it takes a little bit, but it's not like you have to like sit under like a UV light, and it's not damaging in the slightest.
It comes off with normal nail polish remover.
Yeah.
And this red specifically lasts the longest on me out of the shades.
The red lasts the longest on me
and
too.
it's the most perfect red. It's called Rapid Red. They have a ton of reds, which I love because we love red nails. But we randomly picked this one on the website, just like thinking it looked like a good red, and it's my dream red nail polish.
Yeah, they have really great shades. We started with the shade Chic, which I think is still my most used. This is our second bottle of Chic. And then we went to the red.
Yeah, the red is my most used.
And then the one that I'm wearing now, which again, like I do have some chips, and this is only because I was cleaning. So if you're working with like bleach or like cleaning products, like I bleach.
You could wear gloves.
Yeah, our laundry room, and I think that's why it started chipping, because it just like wears away at it. But that's obviously bleach. It's like a very intense chemical. Anyway, this is the shade Vigor. I also really love this one. And we didn't realize, like I think when we first started using them, they didn't have seasonal collections, and since we started, they released like 5 or 6 shades in a season, so they have much more shades. So we want to get another one. We should have like really took advantage of their, well, during their Black Friday sale, we got another top coat and base coat because we use it so often. But because they are kind of pricey, I should say. They're like $20.
It's actually life-changing.
It's so good. If you are someone who likes a manicure, doesn't want to go and get it done in the salon, and wants it to last, you have to try this. I will say, just shout out to, I still use Lights Lacquer like as like my toenail polish, because Kathleen has like some really great shades in her range, and I still think like that lasts perfectly fine on my toes. It's just my nails that would always chip.
Yeah. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You made it through a long one. Please let us know what you loved this year. It was an interesting year. I feel like we rediscovered some old favorites, but definitely like discovered some new products, like life-changing products. So let us know what you guys love this year.